Appreciate y'all being here today. You know, just really want to talk about first the relationship we have with Children's Harbor and also Children's Hospital, but Children's Harbor specifically of, you know, going back even to 14 when we first got here, and, you know, the proximity between us and Children's Hospital, and really just wanting to get our kids involved in something special and a give back opportunity. And really, you know, as I say all the time, this has really ended up better for our players and our coaches than maybe it has for you guys. So, Merrill, we appreciate the involvement with Children's Harbor. But last year we were sitting around in the off season and talking about a way for our players to really be involved with Children's Harbor and giving back and recognizing what you guys are doing. And I know you'll touch on, you know, just your organization, but you know, we talk a lot about playing for not the name on the back, but the name on the front, which is UAB. And it kind of came to us that this would be a chance to really play for the name on the back. And you know, we came with the idea of a special uniform that we had not worn before. And you know, when could we do this? When could we unveil it? And we ended up playing Louisiana Tech at homecoming, wearing this special uniform. With a Children's Harbor theme, and we end up putting the name of a child that had been served through Children's Harbor on the back. The great thing about that was really our players just really, you know, I knew it was going to be good, and I didn't really know how good it was going to be. But you know, our players ended up finding out about each one of these former children or children now, who they are, what was their story, and really developed a relationship with that family. We ended up giving the jerseys back to the families as well. And, of course, that ended up being a pretty good win last year against La Tech. So this year we've not made the announcement for who we're playing, but we will play this our Children's Harbor game on October 20th for homecoming against North Texas, who's a pretty good opponent. So should be fun, and we'll be wearing the same uniform with the names on the back. So, Ted, you want us to save questions to the end? Yes. Okay. All right. I'm gonna turn it over to Merrill. Okay. Thank you. All right.
Well, good morning. My name is Merrill Great. I'm the CEO at Children's Harbor. I want to say a huge, enthusiastic, sincere thank you to Coach Clark, the entire coaching staff, all the players especially, who've given so much as they walk onto that field with the names of 100 of our children, as Coach said, on the backs of their jerseys to lift them up. Last year, we really did realize how significant this event was going to be as Coach Clark led the players, and then as Coach Clark said, the players really got into the program and connected with the children in a very special way. So if you can imagine these children who are going through this chronic and serious illnesses, they're having to battle this in their life, and it's something that most adults would not want to have to face. And these larger-than-life athletes insert themselves into the lives of these children and become heroes for them when they need it the most. So Coach Clark said they reach out to them in social media, they become friends with them, they encourage them. So in sort of those moments when they really need hope and encouragement, these huge players come into their lives and help them out. So it made such a huge difference because the players were so enthusiastic about it. Thousands of people make Children's Harbor possible each year, so we always want to thank them. But Brassfield and Gorey is sponsoring the Game Day Experience, which is allowing 250 children and families to attend the homecoming game. So it'll be a really fun game for all of those folks. And then also the employees over at Flowers Baking here in Birmingham are sponsoring the T-shirts that the players will wear on the Blazer Walk to the stadium. So we want to thank all of those sponsors. Children's Harbor provides unique services, as Coach said, here in Birmingham in a partnership, a very special partnership with Children's of Alabama. We run a family center for them, and it provides counseling, support, respite, education services for all those children in the hospital. Down at Lake Martin, Children's Harbor has a retreat center, and each year we donate that facility to different organizations, 31 this year, who come in and then put on camps for kids with cancer, spina bifida, hemophilia, severe burns, organ transplants, you name it, and those families come in there and they have a moment with other moms and dads, with other siblings, with other children, and they create community and education. Doctors and nurses come in to visit them, researchers come in to see them. It's a wonderful experience, and we do that year-round. So we're so thankful for the support of all of our folks. One of the organizations that we donate to each year is Riso Kids International. They have an international camp and bring kids and families from all over the world. Researchers, doctors and nurses come. Tracy Thomas is here, and her son is going to be remembered on the back of one of the jerseys at the game, and she's here to talk a little bit about our relationship.
Good morning. I'm Tracy Thomas, and again, I'm here today representing our family, the organization that our family helped to start, which is Rise Up Kids International. We've been serviced through Children's Harbor, and we're so grateful for everything Children's Harbor does. But today, I'm here representing my family. I have my son Taylor with me. My husband's been away working storm duty, Greg. He could not be here. And I have one of our board members and family friend, Tangi Collins, with me. And they join me in giving my thanks today for this special moment, for our family being able to be here to experience this honor for our son. In 2007, our youngest son, Jackson, was born, and he was born with a terminal form of dwarfism. And so we became regular visitors to Children's Hospital. And we've always been so thankful to have wonderful facilities like Children's Hospital and Children's Harbor available to service families like ours, because it's a journey that no family ever makes a plan to take. It just happens. And so when we were informed that UAB's football team wanted to honor some of the children who've been served through Children's Hospital and through Children's Harbor, and that our Jackson would be included, our family was just very humbled, because this is such a selfless gesture on behalf of this football program. So afterwards we were informed, we got to thinking about Jackson, and we just had kind of an emotional time of reflecting about his life, and he was so limited in his own physical abilities. He couldn't walk, he couldn't talk, he sure couldn't run down a football field. But yet it doesn't get away from me that these awesome young men on this football team, that they have eyes and they have hearts that recognize these kids for the warriors that they are and the battles that they're fighting, and they're willing to take our kids' names on the field that night for them. So I've thought a lot about the character of these players and how hard it must be to train and condition, and for them to find that balance between academics and athletics. And, you know, I've been moved to tears several times thinking about how selfless this is, because this is their moment, this is their homecoming game, and it's their time to shine, and that they're willing to share that with children like my son Jackson. So I also recognize that this team has something different. This team has something special. It has encouragement from the top to not just make a difference on the football field, but to make a difference in life. And I've heard so many extraordinary stories about Coach Clark and his coaching staff, and how they're encouraging them to win on the field and off the field. And that's very, very impressive to me. I appreciate you, Coach Clark, for guiding this program and these players the way that you do. A lot of people just want success for themselves, but what we see in you is you want success that brings everybody along for the ride, and that means a lot. Dale Carnegie said one time, a person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language. And Jackson, our son Jackson, we called him Jack Jack. He passed away in 2013. He was 5.5 years old. And I hope you never have a need to know this, but after your child passes away, you miss hearing their name. You miss seeing their name. So for us, the gift of being able to see his name on the back of a football jersey during homecoming is really extra special to our family. It's one of the sweetest gifts you could ever give our family. But today, I'm here sharing Jackson's story, and what I want you to remember is that Jackson is only one of about 100 other brave children who are going to be honored and recognized that night at the homecoming game. Any of those families could stand here and share their story about their extraordinary warrior that they have, just like our Jackson. And I've always told people, you know, when you walk down the halls at Children's Hospital, those are some of the bravest people I've ever seen in my life. So each of those kids is as deserving of this recognition as our Jackson is. So I was praying this week about the words that I could say when I had my few minutes here at the podium that really adequately expressed what our family feels about this. And you know, I kept thinking about the gifts and the talents that we're given in life and how we're supposed to use those, and how Coach Clark is encouraging these young men to share their talents in a way that brings joy to so many other people through something like recognizing them at homecoming. So when I was reading my lesson for church Sunday, our verse was 1 Peter 4:10, and it said, just as each one has received a gift, use it to serve others. And so that, I thought that was what I was meant to read today before I came here. So we're thankful for these players, for these coaches, for this athletic program, and for being a light to so many and allowing our family and so many others to be a part of your special homecoming game. And I'm sure that it'll be a bright spot in our memory long after the lights go out that night after the game. I hope you know that we will be cheering on the team as you carry our child's memory onto the field. And we will be celebrating all those kids that are still fighting their huge battles that they have to fight. We appreciate Children's Harbor so much, and the Ben Russell Children's Hospital of Alabama, and most of all, we appreciate the UAB football team and the staff for finding a way to celebrate and remember our children. What you're doing validates for us that their fight matters and that it mattered what Jackson went through and what these other children are going through right now. So I hope that you will always be blessed by the same measure that you're blessing our family and so many others through doing this. Okay, thank you.
And Jackson's name will be worn by our quarterback, A.J. Erdley. And with that, we'll open it up for questions from the media. And I ask that if you guys are asked a question, if you come up to the podium, please. Thank you.
Coach, just I guess just talk about how much it lifts up the players when they go out there and elaborate the lift, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, you know, I really think when I start thinking about giving back, and we're the beneficiary here, you know, and you're talking about humbling. I mean, my gosh, you know, and I think something we've said since we came back was playing for more than yourself. And, you know, one of the things I'm proud of is I was a high school coach, you know, and you were so involved in your community. And one of the goals I had when I became a college coach was not to change that. You know, our community's just gotten bigger. And I think one of the things I love to hear when I go to a high school game or I'm out, you know, somebody says, Coach, thanks for believing in Birmingham and believing in us. And, you know, and really it's the other way around. Birmingham believed in us, you know, and our community believed in us. So this is, you know, I think we're the beneficiary, no doubt, because it's good for our kids. And, you know, this is one of those things that I thought was going to be good, and it turned out better than we even hoped. So, like I said, we're just very humbled to be part of it. Very humble.
Coach, you're always playing for more than just the team.
Yes.
Young question, how much more pressure do you feel playing, again, not just for yourself, not just
Yeah.
for the school, but for those names on the back?
Yeah, that's how I feel every game, you know, and I say this all the time. My favorite thing is the worst thing, because every game I feel like, you know, we're representing so many people that helped us get here. And, you know, that's a good pressure and a tough pressure, you know, and then maybe we've added some more to this. But I think just the way our players went into that game last year, really, I was even amazed that they really, you know, we talked about it, but they felt it. They went out and studied. You know, we gave them a little snippet on each, and they did some studying. You know, they figured out who these kids were and these families were, and there was connections even on after the game. But hopefully that's a good pressure for us to go out and you know, to put a good show on and to play hard.
It was a pretty cool moment too last year when Spencer scored, and I know coaches kind of don't like the players to draw attention to themselves, but he wasn't pointing at him. He went and he pointed to the back of his jersey.
Yeah.
And I know you noticed that.
That was cool. Yeah, that was cool. I mean, that's what I said. It was just spontaneous, really just not planned. I mean, we just said, hey, this is a big deal. We're playing for, you know, more than ourselves and the kids. That's what I said. They embraced it. It was truly a natural, not made up, not hokey. Just, I mean, it was real, you know. And I don't know if we could have scripted the ending any better. So, you know, that's all I'm asking for is just another. You know, we got a really, really good conference team coming in here, and that, of course, that always scares me. You know, but we're doing it for all the right reasons.
Tracy, speaking for the parents, when you see guys do that and they really get into it, the players get into it, like when Spencer celebrates and he's pointing to the back of his jersey, how much pride do you think that gives you as a parent and the other parents as well?
I guess having a child that never could walk or talk or run, it just means so much to know that somebody's willing to to sacrifice what they've worked for to share that moment. I was thinking about it over the weekend, and I thought it's almost kind of like the story of the little red hen. They're out here, they're working, they're putting in the practice, they're doing the work, they're making all the bread, and then we get to eat it and enjoy it at the game when they get to celebrate. So we almost feel guilty, but it's such a wonderful thing. It makes me so proud for all of these children that deserve to have a moment of joy like this. So the players, I can't say enough how much it means that they would do this for us.
Will the name on AJ's jersey, will it be Jack Jack? Is that what it will be?
I'm not sure yet. I don't
Your
know.
choice.
Thank you. Thank
Leave
you.
it to the media, right?
Thank you.
No, but a lot of people will see that name because he is the quarterback. How does that make you feel?
Makes me really proud, because I think so many of these kids, they go through so much in the hospital, and they go through so much their entire life like Jackson did. And just to think that it's something they never could do, and somebody else is willing to give that moment in the spotlight to them, it's incredible.
Are there any other questions? What does it mean for you, your coaches, to see this entire program, for these players to come in, knowing they're coming in to play this football, but to have that, I guess, just knowledge to carry that load for someone else in something like this, in an event like this?
You know, I think one of the things that is our job is to, to help these kids understand they're playing for more than themselves, and that's when I say, one of our slogans is protect the team. And I think people immediately think, okay, we know who your team is, it's UAB football, but really our team is all these people that support us, that helped us get here, whether it's family members, high school coach, high school teacher, my community, that's your team. So when we go out every day outside of football, one of the things I always say is, I hope when people come see us play, they talk about how hard we play. And, that's a representation to me about that you're playing for more than yourself. It doesn't take a lot of ability to play really hard. I think that was one of the things we were excited about Saturday. If you watched our sideline, we just said, hey, we're not going to get down. We're not, no matter what happens, we're going to pull for each other. And I think you saw that. And so this is a big honor for us to get to represent a really selfless organization. I mean, how much better does it get than that? And then for kids, and it's emotional, when you start thinking about who you're playing for. So it's a big deal to us. I think, we talk about it when these guys come in here, that it's a family. And, I don't want that to be a bunch of words. I want it to mean something.
You feel like these players, it might be one of those more important moments of their life, going forward?
No doubt. Yeah, that's our job. I said all the time, our job is to make them better people, better men. So that's really what we're supposed to be here for.
Coach, in the weeks after you guys played this game last year, was there still kind of an effect that this game had on you?
I don't think there's a doubt. I mean, I think we carried that with us. Shaq Jones, they asked him, what was your favorite moment of the year? You think the return, he's speaking for us, the first game, he said the Children's Harbor game. And that struck a chord with me that it was important. But they talk about it. They still talk about it today. It's like I said, this has turned out so much better than I even hoped. Just to get to recognize these kids and what Children's Harbor is doing, and the families, and it's just we're playing a little part. But yeah, they definitely carried it with them.